The United Nations says more than 660,000 people have fled Ukraine since the invasion began just a week ago. The majority of the people have headed for Poland. The UN fears that number could rise as high as 4 million in just the next few weeks. Now, shelters have been set up along the border with Ukraine. Our next report comes from Przemyśl, where Polish people are giving some of the refugees a warm welcome.
Another train arrives at Przemyśl station in Poland. On board, refugees who are fleeing from the neighbouring war zone in Ukraine. Most arriving here are women, children and the elderly. At the moment, Ukrainian men aged between 18 and 60 who are fit for military service are not allowed to leave Ukraine.
It is hard to leave, very hard, especially for little children. But somehow we did it, and we're here now. I am glad for the children, but I am very worried about the family members who decided to stay in Ukraine. We are so grateful to the Polish people who are helping Ukraine. Putin is a sick man. Something is wrong with him. If he were smart, he wouldn't have begun the war in the first place. We're living in the 21st century.
Volunteers give the refugees food and everyday items they might find useful. In the main hall, cots have been laid out so the Ukrainians can rest. Outside the station, volunteers offer the newcomers a free ride to the next city. They take them to Katowice, Krakow, or even Berlin. I can give 3 people a ride, for example, a woman and 2 children. I'm willing and able to help. Poland is well prepared for this stream of people. For weeks, they've been following government orders to set up aid centres, like this one called Ukrainian House, to offer help, including temporary accommodation. But these are chaotic times. And not everyone fleeing Ukraine has found Poland quite so welcoming, including foreign students.
The Ukrainians were let in, and the foreigners, they were segregated to one side.
Some have also complained of poor treatment at the hands of the border guards.
All the black people, Arabic people especially, what I saw, they beat them, they tore their gun to them at night. It was snowing, just people wanted to walk. They stopped us like a 3 hour, they didn't let us walk, and people get aggressive.
Poland says it's admitted around 350,000 people from more than 120 countries. With war raging just a few kilometres away, sympathy for the refugees is mixed with a fear of what might come next.
My next guest is Chris Meltzer. He's a senior spokesperson with the UN Refugee Agency, the UNHCR. He joins me tonight near the Polish border with Ukraine. Chris, it's good to have you on the program. Has Europe, let's just talk about this in its largest terms. Has Europe seen anything like this since 1945?
A clear and short answer, no. There were a big refugee crisis. You remember in the 90s when the Balkan Wars drove so many people out of former Yugoslavia. There were in 1956 when the Russian invasion to Hungary went to a refugee crisis that so many people fled, for example, to Austria and other European countries. But 660,000 people, as you have mentioned, within less than 5 days, this is really unprecedented. Just yesterday, 100,000 people came to Poland alone within 24 hours. This is really without example.
And are these refugees, are they getting the support that they need?
More or less, yes. I mean, you need always more support, but the Polish government is well prepared. Facilities for the refugees, makeshift facilities in schools, in gymnasiums, and so on. The people can rest there and can probably think what the next step could be. And the solidarity of the people here, of ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things, it's just amazing. You saw that in the video of your colleague. It's really fantastic how the people here in Poland are supporting the refugees.
And we have had reports that non-Ukrainian citizens trying to flee the country have not been allowed to leave, particularly people from Africa and Asia. Are you hearing those reports?
Not in that way. We have heard that they had problems to enter Poland, that the Polish authorities took them out for clearing when there were problems with the papers and so on. And we are very concerned about these cases, but we have not heard that really people were sent back to Ukraine. That would be a breach of the 1951 Refugee Convention and a very serious problem.
The countries bordering Ukraine, they're very welcoming to these refugees. I mean, this is a very different story when you compare it to the refugee crisis back in 2015, isn't it?
Well, at least what the Poles would say now, it's our direct neighbor, and there's a war. But the position of the government in Warsaw, it's indeed also very different. What's changed their mind? Well, you should ask them.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting aspect of the story. Chris, we appreciate you taking the time to put this in context for us. Chris Meltzer with the UNHCR. Chris, thank you.
Thank you very much.